Assalamualaikum, Madam HALIZA. My name is Azim Syahir, and this is my groupmate, QASHRINA NAJWA. And today we're going to present our assignment 1 for intermediate microeconomics. And I'm going to do question 1 until question 2B. So question 1 here. The diagram below shows an equilibrium position of a consumer who has spent 600 ringgit on good X and good Y. So we know that their income is 600 ringgit. So now question A is we want to know the price of good X and good Y. So for that, we have to insert into the formula. And as you can see here on the budget line, we have 10 and we also have 15. So we know that 15X and 10Y. So if you put all of that together, 600 is the income plus 10Y, and 10 is the quantity and 15 is also the quantity. So now we can just assume Y becomes 0 to find X. So 600 equals to 0 plus 15X. So 600 equals to 15X. So X is 600 divided 15, we get 40. As for Y, we have now to assume X is 0. So 600 plus 10Y plus 0. So 600 equals to Y. 600 divide 10 equals to 60. So Y is 60. So now we know X is 40 ringgit and Y is 60 ringgit. So now we have to determine the value of X1 and X2. So for X1, we now know that Y is 60 ringgit. So now we just have to put it into the formula, but this time it's just we replace X with X1. So 600 equals to 9 times 60 plus 40 X1. So 600 equals to 9 times 60 is 540 plus 40 X1. So 60 equals to 40 X1 from 600 minus 540. So X1 is 1.5. That's the value of X1. For X2, we just have to put the value of Y into 6. So 600 equals to 6 times 60 plus 40 X2. So 600 minus 360, we get 240. So 240 divided 40, we get 6. So the value of X1 and X2, X1 is 1.5 and X2 is 6. As for C, which combination K, L, M, or N will give the highest possible utility to the consumer? Y. For this, as you can see, it says combination K, because as you can see, it's still on an indifference curve, but it's the furthest away from origin and it still touches the budget line. Therefore, it gives the maximum utility. For D, assume that the consumer's income increases by 50% and prices of good X and Y are constant, still the same. How many good X can he buy if he intends to buy 9 units of good Y? So the new income is 900 ringgit because 50% increase from 600 is 900. So now he intends to buy 9 good Y. So 9 times 60, because 60, the price of good Y is 60. So plus 40X, because X remains the same. So 900 minus 540, we get 360, and then plus 40X. So X is 9. So he can buy 9 good X. Okay. That's all for question 1. Moving on to question 2. For 2A1, a consumer has an income of 3,000 ringgit. So that's his income. Orange juice costs 3 ringgit a glass on the y-axis, and chicken rice costs 6 ringgit a plate on the x-axis. So for question 2A1 Roman, we have to fill in this table. So as you can see, I filled it up. Quantity of orange juice, 1,000, 750, 500, 250, 0. Quantity of chicken rice, 0, 125, 250, 375, 500. So this is all to get the total spending will be all the same, 3,000 in the end. So what is the equation for this budget constraint? So the income is 3,000 ringgit, as we know from the question. So, and the cost of Y is 3 and the cost of X is 6. So 3,000 ringgit equals to 6X plus 3Y. So what is the slope for this budget constraint? That will be the difference in Y divided by the difference of X. The quantity, I mean. So difference of Y is 0 minus, I think it's better if we look at the graph, at the graph here. So 0 minus 1,000, we get negative 1,000. And then 500 minus 0, we get 500. So the slope is negative 2. And this is the budget constraint, as you can see. And this one is 0, 1,000. This one is 500, 0. As for B, construct a table for 3 indifference curves as below. The question gave us, for the first phase would be 60 utils, 80 utils, and 100 utils, 1, 2, 3. So as we know that the more utils they have, the more satisfaction they will gain. So we filled it up according to the levels of satisfaction. As you can see, 24679, 46892, then 86432. So this is all to get back the 60 utils, 80 utils, and 100 utils. As you can see, it's on an increasing rate, which will suit the amount of utils we get. As for 2B2 Roman, if we draw the indifference curve from this combination of goods, we can see that we will get E, equilibrium, or the optimal consumption choice on U2, which will be 80 utils, because it's still an indifference curve, but it still touches the budget line. Therefore, it is within our budget to buy from 80 utils, and it still maximizes satisfaction. Okay, that's all from me for question number 1 and 2A and B. So moving on will be 2C from QASHRINA.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is QASHRINA NAJWA. So I will be presenting from 2C until number 3. So for C, the consumer income increases from 3,000 to 4,000. So what happened is that as income increase, the budget constraint will shift out and consumers are able to reach higher indifference curve. Next. As for D, the price of chicken rice rises from 6 ringgit to 10 ringgit a plate. Price of orange juice remains for a consumer with a constant income of 3,000. So what happened to the budget line and consumption of orange juice and chicken rice is that it will the budget constraint will pivot inwards, as when price increase we could afford less of it, but if we bought only the other good, our purchases will remain unchanged. On the graph is shown that the chicken rice consumption is dropped and orange juice increases. Therefore, after the price change, our two goods are substitutes. So when we decompose the change into income and substitution effects, firstly, to see the effect of price change without the effect of the change in income, the parallel line was drawn to the new budget constraint and tangent to the old indifferent curve. This will reflect the new relative prices, but since we are tangent to the old difference curve, we are just as well off as initially. The new budget constraint is labeled as H. Since chicken rice is now relatively expensive compared to orange juice, we will substitute various orange juice increases and decreasing the chicken rice. As a result of the increase in the relative price of the chicken rice, the consumption of it is reduced and consume more of orange juice. Therefore, the substitution effect has happened. To see the income effect of chicken rice price change, our purchasing power has been reduced. In our graph, we now hold the relative prices constant at the new level, but income has fallen. The budget constraint has shifted inwards. The total effect is to move from A to B. Chicken rice consumption has fallen. Both the substitution and income effects led to drop in chicken rice consumption, while oranges consumption is increased. In conclusion, the substitution effect has increased consumption of the oranges, but the income effect reduced it by less than the substitution effect increased it. Next, so for number 3, as we can see, this is our table where there is total variable cost, total fixed cost, total cost, marginal cost, average variable cost, and average fixed cost. So from the table above, we can sure that this firm is operating in short run because there is a fixed cost as they are fixed in the short run due to the time is short to increase the size of fixed input. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Madam HALIZA, for listening.